How can a 300-point up day be a real snoozer? What's up, everybody? Welcome aboard to Bubba's Daily Update. And of course, the markets were up 300 points, and they were a real snoozer. There was no volume, there was no volatility, there was nothing going on. It was a market that opened higher last night, grinded higher throughout the day, and basically closed on or near the highs. There was one attempt at a sell-off early in the day, but at the end of the day, it just lollygagged its way to the highs. It was as bad a day from a trading standpoint for traders because, again, traders depend on volatility and volume. We had neither. So this was just a day that was a drift higher where the volatility got crushed once again, and we saw just every little sell-off was met with buyers, buyers, buyers. And of course, that's typical in a market, that's drifting higher, which is why the old adage is you never sell into a dull market. In the meantime, again, traders don't really care which direction they go. They just care they go in directions back and forth. But we had, again, about a 300-point up day. For the first time, and I can't remember how long, the Dow well outperformed the other indexes. The NASDAQ made a late kick at the end of the day to catch up. The S&P was weaker today than the Dow, but still up substantially. Again, everything closed near their highs except for the Russell. But the Russell, again, has been making new highs regularly anyways. So we're not, this today doesn't tell us anything about what's next. What it tells us is that we must be continuing to observe the markets because right now there isn't a lot going on. I wrote this morning for Kitco that gold may have a little bit room to the upside, but may now come back and test that support level. And of course, it was up about $12 when I wrote that. It closed up about 3 or 4 and looks like it's continuing to drift lower. Oil had one big sell-off, like about $1, and then all of a sudden, boom, and it closed up on the day over 74. Again, we're not telling you to sell it. I'm just warning that don't get too long it because it figures to have a big reversal here at some point. And it's, again, we took our bath. And I'm not, again, I'm not getting back in. I'm in small. But it looks to me that this backwardation keeps growing, which is only a sign that we're only being driven by fear in the front and the back is being sold off on a regular basis. So we'll look to see what that is. Again, if it gets over 75, then we'll say that I'm wrong totally and then we're going higher. I don't know if we'll get there, but we'll continue to watch for that. Grains were under heavy pressure again today. Now, after the big rally on Friday, a little bit of selling wouldn't have been a surprise, but they were down quite a bit. But again, real lack of volume. So one of the things we do understand is that equities will drift higher when there's no business. Grains and most commodities will drift lower, which is kind of what we saw in the overall action today. Meats were kind of mixed, but we're very comfortable with cattle, both fats and feeders. Feeders, as long as they stay above 150, they're going to get to 155, maybe higher. Fats, as long as they stay above 105, we're going to get to about 110, 112. So we're going to look for that. Hogs look to be in trouble, but I don't think so. I think you'll probably see in the next couple of days an announcement about the trade wars, which I think caused some of this selling because a lot of the weak hands, the weak longs are always easy to shake out of a market, or the weak shorts. In this case, it was the weak longs. So we'll continue to watch that action. And of course, you've got the Supreme Court announcement tonight, which should have no effect on the markets. But again, you do have the announcement tonight. I think it'll be probably Kavanaugh, but we'll see how it plays out. I'm not making a real prediction. It'll be him or the woman from Notre Dame, I think. But again, it'll be one of those two, I think, will be the choice. But at the end of the day, again, there's nothing really to get overly excited about. Bonds were lower, interest rates were higher, so the yield curve came off a little bit of that inversion for the time being. But again, I think interest rates are going to go higher. The dollar was higher after being much lower earlier. So again, we're still with the same thing as our thought for what the black swan is going to be, which is a higher dollar with higher interest rates. And again, it doesn't mean it's going to happen today. It's going to happen. That's what we're looking for. That will be our trigger. Now, if you go back into any big sell-off in market histories, they usually happen towards the fourth quarter. So right now we're into the summer doldrums. There's nothing to get excited about. You want to sit back and relax. Bitcoin and the cryptos were up slightly. And again, they look like they bottomed, and we look for them to continue to go higher. But really, again, there's not a lot to do, so let's not get overly anxious. Let's not get too much things going on here. Let's stay on the sidelines, being ready to get in based on if we get the action. I do like the VXX as a trade. Now, I do hate that product as a rule. I think it's a crooked product. But as a short-term trade, I do like it. I think it's got a chance to pop here. When they push volatility down this far and complacency is so high, it's a thought. Anyways, that's just an idea if you're looking for something to do that you're willing to take a little bit of risk on. In the meantime, this is Bubba's Daily Update. Todd Bubba Horowitz, and we'll be back tomorrow. But in the meantime, don't forget about our high school investing program. If you'd like to help us out as we get ready to go into our 9th year, we need some help if we're going to stay in business with this. And that would be at Patreon, patreon.com/Bubba Trading. And also don't forget to catch the Bubba Show every day from 4 to 5 Eastern at LibertyTalk.fm. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you back here tomorrow, right here on Bubba's Daily Update. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.